Hi, I am Ruben P. Seriously, and welcome to the first episode of my podcast, the Ruben P. Seriously podcast. Many of you may know me as the general manager of ETW. I am also one of the commentators alongside my broadcast colleague John Cornick. If you don't know me, now you can get a chance to know me a little bit better as the series goes on. Again, if you don't know me, I highly recommend watching, liking, and subscribing to ETW at youtube.com/official ETW Fan Nation. That's youtube.com/official ETW Fan Nation. There's a link in the description. That brings me to my first ever guest on the Ruben P. Seriously podcast. He is the current world champion of ETW. My guest today is none other than Zac Attack. Welcome to the Ruben P. Seriously podcast.
Hi, Ruben.
First of all, I have to ask, how are you feeling?
Feeling a little bit sore, a little bit tired. How about you?
Oh, I'm feeling good, thanks.
Great.
So let's jump right into the questions. Who inspired you to do what you do today?
Well, quite a few guys, most notably the Hardy Boys from WWE and TNA. You know, Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, some Shawn Michaels.
So, people like that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting. How did you get into wrestling?
Well, originally I did not like it and it was just boring. But then my dad got me into it and then he lost interest. And then one of my friends called Spike came along and he suggested it to me. We did a bit of training and then I got into it at KPW.
Wow. So what was life like growing up for you then?
It was hard, I guess. I went into pretty length in my documentary, but to sum it all up, it was just pretty tough, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, sorry for repeating anything that you've already explained. Some people might not have watched the documentary before.
Yeah,
Is that alright?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so if you could, please explain what KPW was and how did you find it?
Well, KPW was just an indie brand that we did. Me and a few of my friends, we just pulled a whole lot of guys together. And I found it through my mentor, my best friend, Spike. Caleb, as some of you might know him. And Johnny Cena, yeah. He was a big fan of John Cena. And there was lots of guys there, so we just kind of got together to match every day. And at the end of the week, we did a pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, we just did a whole lot of matches, and then me and my friend Milo, one of my best friends at the time, we were commentators actually for a while. And,
Really?
Yeah, and, we were just watching, and we learned the moves. Like, we would be commentating, and then we would ask one of the guys, mostly Johnny, we would ask him, what's this move called? And he would tell us, and we'd be like, oh yeah. And then we'd go home, I'd go home to Spike, and we would watch it, and he'd teach me a few of the moves, and then we'd go outside onto his ring, tramp, and we'd practice them. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, what?
A very different way of learning how to wrestle.
Yeah, through two different people.
Okay, so what would be your favorite match in KPW? How did it go down?
Well, my favorite match. I have a few. Is that alright?
Yes, that is totally fine.
Well, one of them was my first match where I was commentating, and then all of a sudden I had a plan with Johnny before. So all of a sudden I just come down and start jumping on his enemies and doing the West Coast pop and punching him and all that.
Yeah.
And one of the other ones, it was actually one of my world title matches, and I was kind of like, it's hard to explain. It was started out as a fatal 4-way, and we eliminated two of the guys. Oh, one of the guys, sorry. And then Johnny, who was one of my opponents, DDT'd me. He was meant to DDT me onto one of the other guys, but he rolled out the way and my head smashed onto the tree.
Oh, that is terrible.
Yeah, blood everywhere. I had to leave the match.
Oh, that is very bad.
It was alright though.
So you're fine after that now?
Yeah.
Okay, at least you're okay now.
Yeah.
So you went to the hospital or anything after that?
I had to get my head stitched up.
Wow, okay.
But one of the other favorite matches of mine, it was a last match of KPW before we all left.
Wow, okay.
It was the Lock Rockers, which was a tag team between me, Spike, Johnny, and one of our friends who was our manager.
Okay.
And he was the special referee for that match. There was the Degenerates, which was Rockwheeler and Triple X.
Yeah.
There was the Flying Eagles, which was Big Jesse and Black Eagle.
Yes.
And we just had a massive battle, and eventually I won. I super kicked Jesse over.
Wow.
And then pinned him, 1, 2, 3. But our manager, he had a key from our entrance in his hand, and it stabbed into his hand, and I just won. I was like, 1, 2, 3, yeah! And then I turned around and saw him with the key in his hand screaming.
Oh, that is terrible.
It is.
What a way for KPW to go down.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's all you have to say about your favorite matches?
I guess, yeah.
So is there anything you would have changed during your KPW career? Is there any regrets? Perhaps?
Maybe if I'd teamed with Johnny and them a bit more.
Okay.
If I'd developed my character a bit more, maybe.
Yeah.
Not much regrets on that. That was probably one of the best times of my life.
Well, that is great. Okay, so tell us about KIW and why you moved there.
KIW, well, Milo came over. It was me and Milo,
Yeah.
and that was one of his first. And Triple X, the Triple X reboot, was a completely different guy.
Yeah.
And we did a lot of matches there. We had some cage matches, which was something I'd never done before.
Wow.
And falls count anywheres, and it was all no disqualification.
Wow, that sounds very extreme.
And I was in a tag team called the High Flyers with Triple X for a while.
Awesome.
But one of my favorite matches there, I got slammed off a cage all the way down.
Oh my god.
And another one, I did a backflip and missed him and went straight into the cage.
Oh, that must have hurt.
It did.
How'd you feel after that move?
Oh, winded, so.
Oh.
But if I can take some time off that topic, I during that time I also went over to a brand called KFC.
Yeah?
Which was the Kaitao Fighting Championship.
Yeah?
And we basically just did stuff like UFC and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, and I didn't win anything there. I was just there to improve my wrestling a bit, but...
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's understandable. Okay. So, any stories about anything... Oh, sorry. How'd your KIW career end? What was your favorite match there?
Well, my KIW career ended when I met Bone and Mountie and Crossface.
Yeah?
And yeah, they were talking about a new brand called ETW, and I was like, this sounds fun. So we went, and yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Oh, it was. Probably one of the best decisions, leaving that.
So how have you enjoyed your ETW career so far?
Well, it's been really great. One of the best careers. I've actually, this is the first time I've been filmed during a match.
Yeah?
And, it makes me nervous, but I enjoy it a lot.
That's great.
Some of the best times have happened while I've been in ETW.
That sounds great. Coming from ETW myself.
So
anything you would still like to do or accomplish that you haven't already?
Well, I'm not sure. Not much. I probably just want to continue on with ETW. It's a really great brand.
Yes.
and I probably want to probably just leave the singles competition for a bit, maybe after I lose the ECW championship, and go after tag team titles or something.
Okay, that sounds great. That's probably the only thing you haven't accomplished in your career.
I have accomplished a few tag team titles, but I want to win the ECW ones.
Fair enough.
Mm.
So what would be your favorite match you have competed in at ECW so far?
I've got a few. I'm sorry, I've got quite a few favorite matches.
I don't mind. You can go on as long as you want.
Well, one of them was Manny versus Zac Attack at HKK. Sorry, HKK, and it was a no disqualification match. And he beat me, but it was one of my favorite matches.
That's great. You're still happy for Manny after that one.
Yeah. Another one of my favorite matches had to be Bone versus Zac Attack Extreme Rules, which I don't know if it's on YouTube yet. Is it on YouTube yet?
No, it isn't.
Okay, well it'll be on YouTube soon. And it was an Extreme Rules match, and that was probably one of the longest matches I've had. Oh, the 30-minute Iron Man match at WrestleMania? Wrestle Age. Sorry, a bit too many shots to the head. And also probably Ernie versus Zac Attack, which I just had a little while ago, which isn't on YouTube yet, I don't think.
That's great. Yeah, it's great that you've enjoyed your ETW career so far.
Yeah.
So what would be your favorite ETW match so far as a fan?
Ooh, as a fan. Sorry, trying to think. Probably. I'm trying to think. I'm not sure. I am honestly not sure.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that question.
Oh, that's fine.
So, is there any interesting or funny stories throughout your career so far?
There's a lot, but I won't share them all.
Oh, well, I don't mind. You can share them all if you want. We've got plenty of time.
Nah, I don't want to, turn people off ECW.
Okay, a few that doesn't?
Probably one time I was wrestling in KPW, and we were having a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Yeah?
And I was attacking him. I was just laying into him, and then he pushed me, and I fell straight over a pole.
Oh.
And landed straight on my neck.
Oh.
But then some random came through and stood on me.
Oh.
Not too funny, but it was really funny at the time.
Terrible. Just wasn't even a part of the organization?
Nah, he just came in out of nowhere.
Oh. That is terrible. So, any more?
Probably not.
Okay, so what is your all-time favorite match in any organization and why?
Any organization?
Yes.
Probably. Trying to think. Probably. What is it? I know. At WrestleMania 2000, Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys versus Edge and Christian versus the Dudley Boys, in a triangle ladder match.
Wow, that match was a classic. For anyone that hasn't seen it, can you please explain what happened and who won?
Oh, well, at the time, Edge and Christian were the tag team champions, and it was basically the precursor to their TLC match. Yeah. And, it was just totally extreme. One of the first extreme matches.
Wow.
And it was massively extreme. Like, it wasn't ECW extreme, but it was extreme for WWE at the time. And there was just, like, spears everywhere, and there was, the end, the Dudley boy, Edge and Christian won.
Yes. That was a great moment. I remember watching that back.
It was really good.
I remember actually Christian explaining one time he couldn't stand up. Edge had to grab both of the tag team titles.
Yeah.
Standing on that table. Christian just couldn't stand up.
There was a table set up between the two ladders.
Yeah. So that's the toll that he took in that match.
Yeah.
One of WWE's first extreme matches. Wow. Okay, so to sum it all up, how do you think ETW is going, and how is it compared to its competition?
I think it's going really great. Watching some of the competition, I'm sorry, but like it is pretty bad. Some of our competition, just saying, like, some of them just don't take it seriously.
Okay, I can understand that.
But ETW doing really great. I'm glad to continue and help in any way. And I just hope it just continues on.
Well, that is great. So, thank you for your time, Zac Attack.
Sure, anytime.
And thank you to everyone that has listened to this 16-minute podcast. Please help out this podcast by spreading the word. Any money earned from this podcast will go towards making ETW a better overall product for all of you to enjoy. The next time this podcast will take place, my special guest will be Ernie. So again, thank you. I'm Ruben P. Seriously, and you've been listening to the Ruben P. Seriously podcast.